Hey, it's Tammy, Gregory. Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I'm making this video tonight about accountability, and I thought it's time I hold myself accountable. Um, I wondered what it takes to be accountable, what it means to be accountable, and when do you start being accountable? Our son, when he was a baby, never had a problem letting it rip, if you know what I mean. Um, One Sunday, we were sitting in church, and it was absolutely quiet. And all of a sudden, wouldn't you know, he lets the biggest one up. We thought we were going to die. Leon and I instantly turned around. Everybody in church, I swear, everybody turned around and looked at us. And basically, Leon and I just looked at each other and then went, he did it. So we held him accountable even as a baby. And that's when it starts, right? Your 2-year-old says a cuss word. Do you hold him accountable? Of course you do. You know, he doesn't get punished because he doesn't know what he's saying. But that's when you start teaching him. And then you get into school and you start having homework. You know, it goes from kindergarten where you don't have to do anything. You know, you get to take a nap. I don't know if they get to nap in kindergarten anymore, but we did. And then all of a sudden you got homework. And then you had tests. And then you get about 10, 11 years old. And I remember our son came home from school one day and he took the bus. And he walked in the house and he looked like he was in a fight. His shirt was ripped and I'm like, what the heck, Griff? What happened? So, well, he was sick and tired of the big kids picking on the little kids. That's when he realized not only was he accountable for himself, but he was accountable for other people's actions. Think about it. He felt that if he just looked the other way like everybody else, that's just as bad as doing it himself. So it's when you start being accountable for other people too. Then you get into middle school, and you know how that is. You get to be a teenager, and now your friends are holding you accountable. You have to have the right genes. I remember being in junior high, and if you didn't have Levi's, you were a nerd. Seriously. Then you get into high school and you have boyfriends, and you know, somewhere along the way you become a part of a team and you realize the team is counting on you and you're accountable to them. Then in high school you're worried about grades. You want to get the right grades so you get in the right college. Our oldest son was a football player, and he started, I think he was about 12, 13 years old, he started lifting weights because he wanted to be the best football player he could and be the best team player that he could and do good for his team. You're accountable to other people. But then, college, big time. All of a sudden, you're not accountable to anybody anymore. Nobody's telling you when you get your homework done. Nobody's telling you. When I went to UW-Madison, you didn't even have to show up in class. I had one class that had like 500 kids in it. And the teacher, he was from, I think he transferred from Denver, and it was his first year teaching there. And the first day, he took attendance, and it took him half the class. It took him at least a half hour just to take attendance. So he's like, I'm not doing this anymore. So he didn't even have to show up for class. You just had to make sure you did well on tests. But how many kids do you think drop out of college because they can't handle being accountable? I know I saw it a lot. I have friends, couldn't handle it. They were up partying all night. With our kids, I think because of that experience, I made sure that when they got into high school, that if they didn't get their homework done, that was their problem. That was the last time I was checking their homework. They needed to be accountable to them and learn that responsibility to them, because they went out to college. I wasn't there. I always told them that they needed to do the right thing even when anybody wasn't watching. It's when you hold yourself accountable, and it's when you find out who a person really is if they do the right thing when nobody else is watching, right? So you get out of college, and now you got a job. Now you got to show up for work on time. You're responsible for everything that you produce at work. No matter what you do, you're held accountable at work. And then maybe you meet somebody, you get married. Now you're accountable to your spouse. And then you have kids. Now I think I'm accountable to my kids. It's like, Mom, you got to dress right, or Mom, and all of a sudden they start holding you accountable for things. It's one thing after the other. And with a job, then all of a sudden you think, well, maybe it's time I start my own business. I could do something from home. I'm a smart person, right? So you start your own business. Now who's holding you accountable? A lot of people can't handle that. It's like they get their home business and they think, well, this is a piece of cake. If I don't feel like doing it tonight, I'll just do twice as much work tomorrow. What do you think would happen if you only opened up your restaurant once a week and you thought you'd, serve twice as many people on that night? Not going to happen. You have to be open every day. People have to know that you're open every day. So when you own your own business, your home-based business, you're really accountable to yourself. And then I guess the big point I was thinking tonight is we were coaching the other night, and it's a young couple, nice-looking couple, and they both work, and when the wife, she works 2 jobs. So their first excuse is, well, we don't have time to blog every night. And I'm like, well, if you don't have time to blog, video. It's a lot quicker. You can throw together some words with it, put the video on your blog, and you're good. And you're sharp people. People are going to like you, and it's instant marketing. People get to know you right away. And then later on that night, I'm sitting there laying in bed thinking about how our coaching call went, and I'm thinking, you know what? I told them they need to be videoing, and I wasn't. So how was I holding myself accountable? And I'm the person that thinks usually I'm the one who steps up and holds myself accountable without even anybody asking. I'm the first one to admit if I make a mistake. So why wasn't I holding myself accountable with videos? I'll let Leah take the responsibility, I think. And, I had other things, the whole excuses. You come all day, but I do blog every day, so why am I not making videos? It's time. And here I am, making a video for you. And here's what else I can promise you, is that we're going to be held accountable by you. Our team holds us accountable. We're there to help them out. Leanna and I made a pledge to each other. We're going to help 1,000 people by the end of this year. Are you going to be one of those people? Are you ready to be accountable for your future? You want to stay in that job, get paid that paycheck, and just all you have to do is show up every day and do your work. That's okay. A lot of people do that. You think it's secure. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if you want a future where you can decide how much you make and you can decide what you want to do with your time, if you want the freedom, then you need to join our team. And we'll help you be accountable, and you can hold us accountable. What you need to do is click on the link below. There's a link down there that's our info, the www.12627817057.info. Go there, watch the video, get more info, and we'll get back to you as soon as you enter your email. And you have a great night. Talk to you later.